This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and today we are going to be talking about New Japan Dominion. We're going to do a review on this. Probably one of the few people that actually talks about New Japan Pro Wrestling and whatnot. So today we're definitely going to be talking about that and whatnot. So New Japan Dominion was a great show last Sunday. We had a change of titles and whatnot, and we had a new, and I'm going to say it, a new IWGP champion. Again, becoming a 2 times, New Japan IWGP champion and whatnot. And, this again, it kind of throws me off because now Callum Newman had the belt only for probably 2 months. Now, my thing is this is still going to affect the storyline that I've been talking about for months. And that is AEW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. And whatnot. For those who are in the Circle Debate Facebook page, we're having issues over here. I don't know why, but this is like the second or third week I've been having issues on the streaming of Facebook and Circle Debate, but right now it's working. So, but anyway, so we're going to be talking about the matches, what is going to come out of this. Also, we're going to talk about what Yota Tsuji was talking about as far as him not defending the IWGP belt for Forbidden Door on the 28th in AEW. Now, is this a work or does he really mean what he's talking about? You know what I'm saying? It is crazy because at the second time he holds the belt, the second time he talks about he doesn't like AEW and blah, yada, yada, yada. I think this is all work, but we're going to get to it and whatnot. So Dominion started with the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV title, Sanada versus Takeshita. Takeshita being the champion. This pretty much started, I believe, I think it was on New Year's Dash when Sanada came in the ring, attacked Takeshita, and broke out and stole the belt and whatnot when he was fighting Chase Owens. So this led off to what we saw of Sanada versus Takeshita. Now, Sanada during the match went and shook hands with Takeshita. Now, Sanada is part of the group, the faction House of Torture. Now, Sanada took a break after Wrestle Kingdom and whatnot. I don't know if he was hurt or whatever the case may be, but the guy went and took a break. And as soon as he came back, he went and attacked Takeshita. Takeshita versus Sanada was a great match. And they went back and forth. But Takeshita was too much for Sanada. The simple fact that Sanada, it was too much. I mean, it was too much and whatnot. And in my opinion, Takeshita is too much for Sanada. Sanada was slow. I don't know, for some untold reason, Sanada was slow. He's not the same wrestler he was a couple of years ago. And this match showed that Takeshita pretty much was dominating this match. It was a back and forth match, but Sanada couldn't catch up with Takeshita, and Takeshita ended up winning the match as he beat Sanada with a Blue Thunder Bomb. He retained his title, and Takeshita's on the same trend he was from last year. This time last year, I believe, if I'm correct, no, actually, I think he had the international title and the Never Openweight. Then he ended up losing both of those titles. But Takesa's he's on a whole new level right now. And in AEW, they got him teaming up with the conglomeration, and I think he's probably going to be part of that cage match they're going to have at Forbidden Door. Won't be surprised and whatnot, but there'll be something to look forward to and whatnot. So it's something to look forward to. But Takeshita ended up beating Sanada. What's next for him as far as him defending that New Japan Pro Wrestling title? I don't know, so anything can happen and whatnot. So we don't know. Maybe he'll end up, I don't know when he's going to end up losing the title. I don't see it happening anytime. I think they're real fond of Takeshita in New Japan. Then we had a match that was, I don't know. I don't know where this led off, but it was Jake Lee from United Empire versus Phantasmo. This was supposed to be anything goes match and whatnot. And LOP got played. You know what I'm saying? He got played by Jake Lee. And when he tried to embarrass Jake Lee so bad that, even he went back to his old way where he used to load up the boot and super kick people and knock them out. And at this point, when he tried to do that, it kind of backfired to him, and Jake Lee put him to sleep. Now, at Phantasmo, he's been lost. He's been lost for a while. I mean, he had the New Japan TV title that Takeshita had. Takeshita beat him for that. And you could tell that he's lost. Now, at Phantasmo pretty much has been he battled cancer not long ago and whatnot. And, he looks good and everything, but him losing this match to Jake Lee, I mean, in a way, is he even in the G1 right now? That's that's a questionable thing. I mean, he did very well last year in the G1. I didn't see his name when they pretty much announced the G1 who's in there. What else, Steve? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate all the support and whatnot. So it's like, right now he's lost in the shuffle. I mean, I don't know where he's gonna go. I mean, ever since the Tamatanga and them left, Hikaleo, he has not been the same. I don't know what New Japan is doing with him, but he's a lost soul right now, the way I look at him. I mean, he's better off as a heel, but there's no more Bullet Club, there's no more war dogs, so it's kind of so I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Then we had a good match. Uemura and Taichi versus TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr. and Iowa. In this match, Taichi and Uemura pins Iowa to win the tag team match. And when TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, seems like every time I look around, they are looking at the lights and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mikey Nichols, I haven't seen him in New Japan. He did show up this week in AEW. And Bad Dude Tito. I know Shane Hayes is in and Noah. I think he's the GAC champion over there. I don't really know. So Steve says, really mind-boggling Newman going to wrestle in the G1 despite the shoulder injury. Now, we're going to get to that because I don't know if that shoulder injury is legit, but it looks like he did because he looked like he hurt himself. As a matter of fact, talking about that, we're going to be talking about how the way Yota Tsuji speared him. It looked like some weird way and he landed effed up and whatnot. So back to the TMDK. I mean, and even we saw it this week in AEW when, first of all, TMDK are a well-known faction. Okay. This is the reason why I come in here sometimes and I talk about pro wrestling because I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? TMDK is a tag team that's been in New Zealand, is well known. Okay. Robbie Eagle has been part of that. Mikey Nichols, Shane Hayes, Zack Sabre Jr., okay, Roy Oiwa, okay, and then many others have been part of that. Even Bronson Reed was part of TMDK when he left WWE the first time. You know what I'm saying? He's always been part of that. But a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't do the research. So here comes Kenny Omega this past Wednesday and said that people didn't know who TMDK was. And I took that personal, because I'm like, how are you saying that? That nobody knows who TMDK? And that's not helping them. That's not helping New Japan. That's not helping any of these people when you say you don't know who these people are, when we know who Zack Sabre Jr. is. We know who TMDK is, especially if you're a wrestling fan, you watch everything. Not just AEW, not WWE, you know what I'm saying, or TNA or NXT. You watch everything. I watch everything, so I know who's who. And this is why when I get to this debate with people, I kind of school them, because I do my research. I've been watching wrestling from everywhere. MOW, NWA, even WCW back in the days. I know all this. You know what I'm saying? So, TMDK is not a team to be taken lightly. But it's been in Japan. It looks like they're not one of Tanahashi's favorite tag team, because they gave the match to Taichi and Uemura. Uemura teaming up with Taichi. And Taichi, look, at the end of the day, Taichi, me personally, I think Taichi, they fumbled the ball with him. He should have been IWGP champion years ago. They got him teaming up. Him and Zack Sabre Jr. was the dangerous Tekker. They had those IWGP tag team belts for a long time, twice, and whatnot. And these guys were not a joke when they were part of Minoru Suzuki gun. Okay. Now, how do I know all this? Because I know the whole New Japan shit. I know this. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, where does TMDK go from here? I don't know. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. is in the G1. I know that for a fact. And whatnot. And I think Uemura and Taichi are in it. I'm not sure, but I gotta check. Desperado and versus Mistico. This was a match that I was very, very looking forward to. Okay, because these are Mistico, CMML, legend against Desperado, who's a New Japan legend himself. Great matches, former IWGP Junior Champion, former IWGP Tag Team Champion. Desperado has done everything. This match was a very good match and whatnot. And these two went at it. And the funny thing is that these two are the WGP Junior Tag Team Champions. And they had this match and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They had this match and whatnot. So this was a good contest between these two. But Mistico got caught in a numero dos, which is a finishing hold that, Desperado does. And he ended up making him tap. You know what I'm saying? And Desperado wasn't too happy about it, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but Desperado beat Mistico and whatnot. And it's funny because Mistico take 20 years to get out of the ring after he finishes the match. And I was like, you want to go already? I want to see the next match, So, but they were going to go to the G1 Climax. And in the G1 Climax, of course, they made the announcement. They got Takeshita is in there. They had Zack Sabre Jr. is in the Callum Newman bracket. And Steve, you mentioned something about it's mind-boggling that Newman's going to go in the wrestling G1 despite a shoulder injury. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? And they might knock him out. And if that's the case, that kind of messes up the whole AEW versus New Japan war. Now, you're probably saying what I'm talking about, but I want to bring it up later. What's up, my man, OPC? Feliz Sábado, my brother, and whatnot. Thank you for showing up and whatnot. And that's the thing. When it comes to Newman, if he is going to wrestle with that bad shoulder and he's facing Zack Sabre Jr., I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to eat him up. I don't care what anybody tells me. Callum Newman could have United Empire. You could have the whole fucking New Japan fan base. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to eat you up on that. He capitalizes in submission moves, and he doesn't stay in one submission. He works all over your body. 6 seconds. They call it the 6-second moves. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen to Kenny Omega with Zack Sabre Jr. Forbidden Door. I'm rooting for Zack Sabre Jr. because what Kenny Omega said about TMDK. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, teach this man a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Put him in 20,000 moves and make him tap. You know what I'm saying? So, So yeah, so you know, that's going to be interesting. Yota's in the Takeshita bracket, which is going to be interesting also because Takeshita lost the IWGP title to Yota Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom and whatnot. And, you know, and this is going to be interesting because if Takeshita pins or beats Yota Tsuji in any of these matches, if the world champion gets pinned in any of these matches, those people get a title shot. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. Dominion was a great event. Enjoy every match. I did too. I mean, I was gonna look at the event. I was gonna see it this weekend, but I was like, you know what? Let me do it now. You know, because I get, you know, at least I'll be ahead of the schedule and I don't have to worry about watching during the week because during the week is hard and whatnot. OPC, you're always working, brother. Always. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make that cheddar, brother. You know what I'm saying? Always working. You know what I'm saying? Busy man. You know what I'm saying? Gotta pay those bills and whatnot. So so then Jake Lee versus Takeshita. That's another thing I want to watch. That's gonna be interesting. Jake Lee. I mean, Takeshita's gonna beat him. I don't see Jake Lee beating Takeshita, but Jake Lee's not somebody that you should take lightly. If you don't know who Jake Lee is, do your research. It's another guy who used to be in Global and Noah and whatnot. You know, so he was part of the War Dogs, so he got hurt and he came back, and then he ended up joining the United Empire. I love Jake Lee. Don't get me wrong. I love Jake Lee and what he does. He got this Joker look, paint and all that, and I know you can't sleep on Jake Lee. You see what he did? He embarrassed ELP. He embarrassed him. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. So then we had the Never Openweight title. Now, I'm sorry, but Adam Wolf, I'm not a fan of his. I got knees. He still looks green. And I don't know how the hell they had Ren Narita drop the belt to him and whatnot. Somebody explain to me why they're giving this belt to Adam Wolf. He is still not, he's still green. He shouldn't even got that belt. And they need to fix that Never Openweight. You know what I'm saying? They need to, that Never Openweight title needs to be either revamped, bring a new belt, something, because that belt look like it has gotten a beating the other years, especially when Evil had it. Evil was painting it. That belt still painted gold, you know, and you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see a little bit. The comments here. The match of the night was the triple threat. Yeah, and what happened afterward, the post match was awesome. OPC says, I'm intrigued with Drilla and Gab on the same bracket. Oh, yes. And that's going to be brought up what happened with the Shota Umino match. Then we said, sounds like a hillbilly, Jake Lee. Well, he ain't a hillbilly. This guy can wrestle. Yeah. Then he said he still got to learn. Aaron Will still got a lot of work to do for sure. Yeah, he does. I mean, he was getting beat up by the House of Torture. He was just flat on his back, getting his ass whooped. And I'm like, dude, try to pretend like cover yourself or something. And he just dared, taking his ass, getting his ass whooped. But he ended up winning this match. And of course, when we have these House of Torture match, you got every interference in the world coming in. Even Takeshita came out. I was like, what is Takeshita doing that's saving Aaron Wolf? Like, what? And it goes to show you there's not a lot of baby faces in New Japan. It's a lot of heels. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And so Aaron Wolf is now the Never Openweight champion. Who do I see that it probably pinned him or beat him? I really don't know, because that Never Openweight title has been a hot potato the last 4 or 5 months. Ever since Evil lost it and Aaron Wolf lost it to Narita. Narita had it, lost it right now and whatnot. Please tell me you ain't gonna pull him in there in the ring with Bala Fale and have Fale beat him. I mean, he beat Fale already. So it could be Show. Probably ends up doing some trick of Show, but now I think Show is gonna try to go after the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title and whatnot. So we'll see about that. It's a lot of things going on there. So then we had the IWGP Tag Team title. Now this match, The Knockout Brothers, my favorite tag team in New Japan, lost the titles to Henare and Great Khan. Now, this match was a back and forth, especially Henare with Ice, Yota Ice, and these guys were, when I tell you they were hitting each other with like bricks, you know what I'm saying? With like bricks. It was just, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And these guys went at it and whatnot, and at the end, the Knockout Brothers lost the IWGP belts to Henare and Great Khan. Now, am I mad about that? No, because Henare and Great Khan never lost the titles. They never lost the title. I think either Henare or Great Khan got hurt and they had to give up the belts. You know what I'm saying? So they got the belts back. But Knockout Brothers, and are not to be, they're gonna be, I think one of them, Yota, one of them is gonna be involved in the G1. So it might be Ice. So Oscar, I don't know if Oscar's gonna be in it, but Oscar takes a lot of punishment. He's the one who takes the licking for the team and whatnot. But this match was a back and forth match. Henare and Ice were just, when I tell you they were throwing bombs, This match was a great match. Maybe a contender for Tag Team of the Year match, because this was good. I mean, you can't, and I've been saying it for weeks. The Knockout Brothers, as far as tag team is concerned, they up there with FTR. Now these two, FTR and Knockout Brothers, don't have the belts, but now, you got Henare and Great Khan with those belts. More belts for the United Empire, but this is not over with. I'm sure there's going to be, after the G1, you're going to see these guys face each other again, either the King of Pro Wrestling and whatnot, and go after it in a tag team match or something. The belts, they're going to try to get those belts back sooner or later. So that was a good match. I mean, it was up there as one of the top matches of the night. So it was great. Andrade, Julian Maloney, and Shota Umino. This was a great match with Shota Umino pinning Andrade to win the title. Now, how ironic that Shota Umino wins his first belt, his first title in New Japan Pro Wrestling after, I think he got 19 title shots, and he finally got one, win one, and then he pins the champion. He doesn't pin Julian Maloney. He doesn't pin, it was a three-way. He didn't pin Julian Maloney. He pinned the champion. So he ends up winning the title. He wins the IWGP Global title, which is the secondary title in the company. That tells you a lot, right? And soon as this is over, Julian Maloney leaves. He's walking away. Shota Umino was about to speak, which, caught me off guard. I should have known. You're going to speak before the main event. You're over here speaking. They usually don't do that. And out of nowhere came Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd ended up attacking Shota Umino. This is the second time in less than, 3 pay-per-views the New Japan has had. This is the second time that Gabe Kidd comes and attack a champion or a former champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, that tells you right there that Gabe Kidd's shoulder is fine, because he came back, he attacked Shota Umino and whatnot, and he said he comes in and in the name of the Death Rider. So remember what I just said. He came in for the member. So basically, he's a member of AEW. Okay, so now it looks like it's going to be Shota Umino versus Gabe Kidd for the IWGP Global Title. A title is another title. I don't think they stripped him off the belt. He lost the belt, won it up. I know he got hurt during the last summer in a match and whatnot. So Gabe Kidd's always getting hurt also, which is not good luck. But you know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, it's this brings a lot of things that might happen beginning of All In. Because right now we're gonna have the G1, nothing crazy, nothing AEW versus New Japan is gonna happen during the G1. Because this is gonna be a tournament. So remember that I said that. Okay. So then we had the IWGP Junior title match between Douki versus Yo. Yo finally wins the IWGP Junior title and whatnot. To me, honestly, Joe should have won the title a long time ago. I think, again, I don't know what New Japan's doing. I don't know what Tanahashi's doing. Finally, Tanahashi gives the belt to the IWGP Junior Champion, Joe. This was a good match. Douki, of course, has had that belt for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And Joe gave it a run for his money. Of course, you had interference from the House of Torture, nothing new when it comes to these matches with them and whatnot. But it was afterwards you had even Francisco Akira came out of nowhere to challenge challenge Yo and whatnot. And I think Show came out of nowhere too, challenging him. And I forgot the other guy from TMDK. Basically, he has a bunch of people who are trying to go after him. And he said, y'all guys could fight it out all out, and then whoever wins that gets the title shot. But Yo might have a long reign as the IWGP Junior Champion. So to me, that was the best move they did there. So the junior division is always going to be good. You know what I'm saying? They got some very good, talented people there and whatnot. So, we'll see. Then we have, of course, the IWGP World Tag Team title match. As you guys know, this match was a back and forth. Callum Newman was doing everything to Yota Tsuji in this match. But during the ending of this match, Yota Tsuji hit Callum Newman with the I forgot what he calls it, but it's kind of a spear like. But Yota Tsuji hit him and kind of like twisted his body at the same time, where Callum Newman landed on his shoulder, and he left out of that match with a shoulder injury. Now, he's specified after the match, and I think at the post-match, anyway, he said he's not going to tell you how bad is his shoulder injured. So now that I went through with all the matches, now I could tell you certain lists. That's what I only put the Gabe Kidd attack Shota Umino and Yota Tsuji wins the IWGP World Title, because things came out of this event. And this is what I say when we get into debates on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, when people start talking about, oh, I don't know who's this, I don't know who's that. Because the wrestling community is divided. We got the tribalism with the AEW fans, WWE fans. Of course, you got the NXT fan, the TNA fans. They just talk. They don't watch every wrestling promotion. You know what I'm saying? I watch everything. Okay. At the same time, when it comes to New Japan, I've been following New Japan ever since Sakura Genesis. And I'm bringing Sakura Genesis from the April event. If you guys remember, in Sakura Genesis, after Yota Tsuji lost the belt to Callum Newman, Gabe Kidd attacked Yota Tsuji. And he had a shirt, AEW shirt, and whatnot. So I remember a couple episodes after that, a couple episodes from now, I did a podcast where I spoke that there may be a New Japan versus AEW war. As soon as I did that episode, who showed up at AEW? United Empire to help Will Ospreay. After that, then we had the main event, which it was I forgot the name. The main event in New Japan a couple of months ago, where Callum Newman kept telling Will Ospreay that he beat Shota Tsuji to hit him, to attack him. Will Ospreay pretty much hesitated, and out of nowhere, he called him a Death Rider. So Ospreay hit him with the switchblade or the hitting blade, whatever you call that. And then we talked about how he is part now hanging out with the same group that put him out, which is the Death Riders, the same group that Callum Newman helped him fight in May or in April, whatever it was. Okay, so now we're seeing a lot of stuff happening with Will Ospreay and whatnot, where he doesn't look too happy that the Death Riders got to come and save him. Okay, Newman just lost the belt, right? Here's the problem with this, because if that injury is legit, Callum Newman has a legit injury, that's going to slow down the storyline between that. Unless Great O'Khan is the one who turns on Will Ospreay. Because remember, Will Ospreay is the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champion with Great O'Khan and Henare. Henare just won, and Great O'Khan just won the IWGP Tag Team Champions, the titles. So that's the story right there, right? That's that big story right there, right? So that should have been happening. But what happened now with the Gabe Kidd situation and with him attacking Yota Tsuji? Who knows if they already had something set up? But Gabe Kidd got hurt at what was it? Wrestle Dynasty or whatever Dynasty, whatever it was in April. He got hurt in a 6-man tag with the conglomeration. Okay, so it's just we this it kind of slowed down what I think the whole AEW versus New Japan. Because remember, he attacked Yota Tsuji. It could have happened. Now he comes back from that same injury and now attacks Shota Umino, who is the IWGP Global Champion. Okay, and he just trashed New Japan. Okay, so we have that. Then a couple of days after this event, Yota Tsuji went online and on Twitter and all that, talking about that he doesn't plan to defend the New Japan IWGP belt at Forbidden Door. He started talking about how back when Okada had the belt or Jay White had the belt, that they put the belt on a four-way or on a four-way. He even mentioned about somebody retiring. I don't know who he's talking about because I remember it was Okada, Hangman Page, Adam Cole, and Jay White. If he's saying that Adam Cole retired, I haven't seen him retire. He's been out, but he's not hurt, but he's not out, but he's not retired. So he mentioned that and whatnot. And he spoke about like he doesn't want to defend the belt only in New Japan. It's pretty much saying that New Japan, he's trying to save New Japan. Okay, he's trying to make sure that no outsiders come and go. So with that being said, I said, the minute I saw this, I'm like, this dude is pretty much talking out his ass again. Because this is not the first time I heard this. But then I started thinking like, is this a work? Or is this he talking, really speaking out of line? Then Will Ospreay checked him. Will Ospreay said, when I had the IWGP belt, I wanted to defend the belt everywhere because I wanted to show that New Japan Pro Wrestling was the best, that everybody was, that brand, New Japan, had the best wrestlers in the world. Okay. Will Ospreay even went far saying that these wrestlers in New Japan doesn't have the drive. Okay. They're all belly up, something to that effect. So if Will Ospreay is trashing New Japan, Gabe Kidd is trashing New Japan. There goes your medicine for a New Japan versus AEW war. Okay, it's not gonna happen at G1 Climax because I know a lot of these wrestling fans want shit to happen right away. It's not gonna happen right away. Let me take this. OPC said with Newman injury, this could backdate the story. Or for the Will Ospreay Newman. Plus Newman did get hurt. He was not supposed to drop the belt at the main. The story now is backdated. I don't know. You could be right but you know how New Japan is. They don't like having outsiders with that IWGP World Title. They feel like, the outsider, not the Japanese. No, we have to put on Yota Tsuji. It's crazy. You say Gabe Kidd is in G1, of course, from last year's injury. He was not able to finish the G1. So this is a good chance for Gabe. And since his visa is being delayed right now, so he could go to the finals to the G1. Yeah, that's right. He's having problems coming back to the States. I think I heard about that. So, but if he's in Japan, better, And to me, again, the Yota Tsuji thing, I think is a work. You know what I'm saying? I think he's doing that to how you call it? To enhance the whole storyline and whatnot. And so it's it's a great look. I mean, again, this is what I say people need to pay attention. You're saying people need to pay attention. So I think visa issues. Yeah. He said it on the post show about his visa issues. Yeah, he did say that. I heard him mention it, but that could be also work. I mean, you don't know. But I mean, he hasn't been in AEW, so I'm surprised he hasn't been in AEW. But the thing is, but see, this is what I'm trying to say. I mean, the story's right there. The story's right there. The whole AEW versus New Japan. It can happen at All In. We could have Will Ospreay winning the AEW World Title and have Callum Newman come out of nowhere and attack him. And I know it's going to piss a lot of people because I'm like, Callum Newman, this guy's not AEW. Why is a New Japan guy coming in and beating? Because of what has happened in the last 3 months. And people, like I said, people just, this is why I try not to be in Twitter. I don't try to debate nobody because people don't, when it comes to details, wrestling fans don't look at details. They don't. It's the same thing where Thekla right now. Thekla is calling out Stardom. She spit at the screen. I don't know why would you do that. And last week she spit on her hand and put it on Tony Schiavone's blazer. But anyway, if people find out what she did during WrestleMania week, would know that this woman does have beef with the owner of Stardom, Okada, Tayo Okada. She beat him up during WrestleMania week. Okay? She caught him and beat him up. Today, she popped out in Stardom this morning. And she beat up the president again. And to know that Starlight Kid is the one who's going to face her. And for those who don't know who Starlight Kid is, this girl is no joke. Starlight Kid is not to be taken lightly. You know what I'm saying? So, it's yeah, it could be a work. I know it's too late who's going to face Forbidden, but we'll see. Something's going to come up. Something's got to give up. Or maybe they were never going to put a tag team. Never going to put the world title on the line. Did the world title got defended last year at Forbidden Door? I don't think so. Who was the champion last year? I forgot. Zack Sabre Jr. Matter of fact, yeah. I think he was the champion. I think he did defend the belt. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and check. But again, Thekla was in Japan this morning. But see how she is doing stuff, to give a story behind what's going to happen in Forbidden Door. You know what I'm saying? And I bet you, for those who just watch AEW, they don't watch New Japan, they don't watch CMLL, they just watch AEW. What's that garbage? Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Then when the time comes and there's a match, don't ask, well, why did this happen? Because it's right there in your face. You just choose not to watch the other promotion. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I saw the craziest shit online yesterday. Somebody said, AEW's been cold for months. You got your head in the fucking refrigerator if you think AEW has been cold. Okay? You got to be the dumbest, stupid-ass person to say that AEW's been cold. Where you been? You know what I'm saying? It's amazing the shit that comes out of these wrestling fans' mouth. Okay? Even a podcaster that's from here in New York who commentates in House of Glory, everybody know who the hell I'm talking about. Okay? Even him was talking about, AEW is bad, blah, blah, blah. You just mad because they don't want you in the scrum, the post scrum, the media scrum. Because you was talking shit about Mercedes Moné. You was talking shit about the whole locker of AEW 3 years ago that Jay Carter put you on blast. Okay, Mercedes Moné got you kicked out of commentary and you got suspended to top it off and you still talking shit. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Say I can't stand AEW here, especially they've never seen the episode. Yeah, but some of them watch to hate. You know what I'm saying? They watch to hate. Thekla is telling a great story with the Stardom about time they get their shine. Yeah, I mean, listen, Stardom is a great fucking promotion. I've seen a couple of Stardom event when they do co-promotion with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and their shows are fucking awesome. The woman in there, even Hasuki, whatever, I think what's her name, Hasuki, who wrestled Mercedes Moné. I seen her fight Mercedes Moné before. That girl's no joke. She gave Mercedes Moné a run for her money this week. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was going to beat her because that girl was no joke. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's better not to even get into debates with some of these wrestling fans because they don't know. Everybody wants to be a journalist. That's the best part. Everybody wants to be a journalist. Everybody thinks they know everything. You say something about WWE, forget it. They go out of their fucking mind. They lose their fucking head. You know what I'm saying? You know, they go berserk because they're in denial. When you're in denial about promotion, that shows you your intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Shows you your intelligence. He said, Suki, great showing against Mercedes. Oh, hell yeah. That match, I think it was the match of the night. That was the match of the night. You figure the 12-man tag team was the match of the night? Nah. Hazuki and Mercedes were the match of the night. You know what I'm saying? Hazuki's amazing, great match between her and Monet, but the first one was the best, in my opinion. Yeah, it was. It was. But they stole the show on Wednesday. They stole the show. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as New Japan Pro Wrestling is concerned, I do not know where they're going with all this. Because now we have to wait for at least a month and a half, 2 months before we know who Yota Tsuji is going to wrestle. Now, pay attention to who Yota loses in these tournaments. Okay, he's not going to go 12-0, 12 points, 14 points. That's not happening. I have a feeling that he wrestles Takeshita, Takeshita's beating him this time, and he's going to get his shot again because Takeshita needs to get his title shot. Yota Tsuji defeated him. He gets a title shot, a rematch. You should get a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Get a rematch. I mean, you got Callum Newman. Depending on his injury, he might pin Yuta because United Empire, they know how to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? The match I'm really looking for is the Jake Lee versus Takeshita. Then you have, let me see, what is that? Let me look at my notes here. Zack Sabre Jr. against Callum Newman, like I was telling Steve, that, bro, Callum Newman better be 100% because, and Gabe Kidd's in the Callum Newman bracket too. That's going to be interesting. The match, like I said, I want to see Callum Newman if he bailed out or he gets knocked off or whatever. But if Callum Newman's hurt and he doesn't participate in the G1 Climax, it could still be done because he's, you don't got to be in a wrestling match to turn on somebody. I still see Will Ospreay winning the belt, and I see Callum Newman showing up and the whole of the United Empire, and they take him out. They beat him up. You know what I'm saying? To probably do a follow-up somewhere in October for King of Pro Wrestling or a September event. So, right now, as far as New Japan concerned, this show was great. It's never a dull show for New Japan. That's one thing I can say right now. But I'm not so happy them giving the belt to Yota Tsuji again. I don't know why. And every time I saw Yota Tsuji before we became champ, the first time, I always felt that he was going to be the one they were grooming to be the face of the company. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he's all that. You know what I'm saying? For that, you could give it to Uemura. You know what I'm saying? And like I said earlier, Taichi, they dropped the ball with him. He could have been world champion a long, long time ago. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done that with him. And I thought they were going to run with Zack Sabre Jr., but again, they're not too fond of having a outsider or a non-Japanese wrestler carrying the belt. We saw it with Kenny Omega in 2018. When he won that belt, his reign was not great. It wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? And when he lost that belt to Tanahashi and Wrestle Kingdom, it was stupid. They only took them give it to Jay White. I remember that shit clearly as day. So, give me Takeshita versus Driller in the final, or Shingo versus Driller. This G1 is going to be a tough one, or who wins. I can see Takeshita is going to be in the top 4. Driller, Maloney, and you said Gabe Kidd in that shit. Boy, I want to see that match. You know what I'm saying? And Taichi's underrated. Yeah. I mean, and he's a great wrestler. I remember he had some great matches with Shingo, Tanahashi, Okada, but I don't know, for some untold reason, they're pushing the wrong people. What up? What up? The Nero's in the house. What's up, buddy? Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all the guys here who are fathers, early Father's Day and whatnot. So, like I said, yeah, at the end of the day, New Japan is still doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I could sit down and be like, oh, it's not that great, whatever. I mean, I make the best of it, and I'm really looking forward to see if this is going to happen. AEW versus New Japan. I have New Japan versus AEW, some type of war, whatever. Have New Japan wrestlers show up at AEW, AEW showing up. It's great. Yeah, Dinero, you have to see Dominion, bro. Dominion was the bomb. You know what I'm saying? There was no boring matches in there. And again, once you see Dominion, come back to my podcast, listen to what I said about it, and let me know if you agree everything I'm saying. I mean, I've been saying about the whole AEW versus New Japan since the Curry Genesis, since April. So, well, that's it for me today, guys. Let me know what you think about this episode and whatnot. Again, appreciate everybody who's here. We are part of the Debate Network. And of course, there was a little delay on the Facebook. I don't know what the hell. Maybe it was on my side. It was acting up. But I'm still in there. Luckily, I don't know what the hell. These technology bullshit sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. My camera wasn't working like 5-10 minutes before the show started. So anyway, but again, we're part of the Debate Network, part of the Circle of Debate, guys. Check out Circle of Debate. They on watch-alongs through an entire week. They got Monday Night Raw, they do NXT, they do AEW Dynamite, they do TNA watch-alongs, they do the SmackDown, they do the pay-per-views when there's a pay-per-view. So I'm sure you're gonna see them sometime next week. As a matter of fact, is it next week? Yeah, next week. There's 2 pay-per-view watch-alongs. We're gonna have Night of Champions, which is probably gonna be early because it's in Riyadh, and then Forbidden Door the next day. So it's gonna be crazy. Most likely, I will be doing a show about Forbidden Door and whatnot. And OPC just said, a great Circle Debate will be doing Collision tonight and AAA. So AAA is getting good. I mean, if you guys didn't see my report card, mid-year report card for my 300 episode, check that out and hear what I said about these promotions. Talking about New Japan, TNA, all that. And TNA right now, before I leave, TNA is in freaking shambles. From what I'm hearing, they lost Tessa Blanchard. They let go of Sami Callihan. They let him go. He got a phone call on Zoom, actually, and they let him go. And of course, Sunday, the flagship show, the Chaotic Chaos. So, but yeah, TNA, they having issues. Tommy Dreamer left. Tessa Blanchard left this week. Sami Callihan got let go. What's left of TNA? So I think this whole shit was all set up for WWE to buy their library and then let them die like they did to Evolve. So I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear shit about all TNA is doing. It's going to pass AEW. That's not happening. It's not happening unless they start working with WWE, because WWE right now don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about them. Obviously, they don't care about them because just when TNA is about to do Slammiversary, supposedly WWE it's putting, Great American Bash NXT next Sunday. It's also next Saturday night of the Champion Sunday TNA Slammiversary will be an exclusive on Discord and YouTube for Forbidden Door. So, listen. It says sorry, NXT no Great American Watch Alone. Forbidden Door is more important. I'm sorry, I gotta laugh on that. That's a good one. I hear you, OPC. I hear you. Yep. Yeah, that's devious, bros. That's oh man. Yep. So Forbidden Door next week, Saturday, they're gonna have the watch along. So what I'm trying to say is Circle Debate is always on watch alongs during the week. So especially my boy, the Redeemer himself, you know what I'm saying? He's on this every single day. I don't think this guy sleeps. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to my boy Justin. Love him to death. It's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Much love to the whole Circle Debate family. So that is it for me again. If you guys want to follow me, you see it right up there, available on Facebook, Instagram, the X, and of course the YouTube channel. We are getting to 1,800 subscribers. I mean, I'm getting subscribers left and right, close to getting 1.5 million views on my channel. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe, share these episodes, tell everybody about the Circle of Debate, tell everybody about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report and whatnot. I appreciate it. And thank you, OPC. Happy Father's Day to all my guys who are in here and whatnot. Again, follow us. Also, we're on the audio podcast, Spreaker, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and any audio podcast platform that you guys like to listen to. If you don't have YouTube, you don't want to look through the YouTube, you can also hear it through the audio podcast. So with that, I leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon, and happy Father's Day to everyone from the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am the Ultimate One from the Boogie Down Bronx, and I'll see you guys next